Li ho, dage ho. Welcome to the first lesson for this Taiwanese online video series. So the first lesson we're going to cover the pronunciation of the initials. Now if you speak Mandarin, you'll know what that means. If you don't speak Mandarin, it basically means all of the sounds that can come at the front of a syllable. And the way we're going to write them is with the Taiwanese pinyin system called Tailo phing-im, or TLPA if you want to Google it. It just means Taiwanese romanization spelling, basically, or phonetic alphabet. So Taiwanese language phonetic alphabet. Okay, so let's get started here. And I've got them grouped up. So there's 4 groups of characters, or 4 groups of sounds that we have to learn. And it's pretty straightforward once we get started. So the first group over here, on the left, is B, as in boy, B, boy. And the example word is ba. That means meat. The next one is B, as in spot. So it's very similar for English speakers. It's going to sound very similar to the B in boy, but it's not exactly a B, it's a B. B, B. You can try and say these 2 words. Boy, B, spot, B, spot, bot, B. Boy, B, spot, B. Okay, just practice that a few times. It takes a while to get used to it. Don't worry if you can't get it right away. Next one is, the example word for B is bei, which means dad. And don't worry too much about the spellings over here yet for the tones, like these little marks on top. We'll get into that later. Okay, the next one is P, and that's just a regular English P sound. So pot, P. Pa. M, man, or man. And here we have mo. The. So it's sort of like the P over here. If you put an S in front of it, you get a B sound, spot. The T, if you put an S in front of it, you get a D sound, stop. The, stop. D, that means pig. Next one is T. Top. Tao, head. N, no, regular English L sound. Ni, that means year. L, lot. Li, that means you, the second person pronoun. Okay, singular pronoun, second person singular. So real quick, review the first 2 sets. B, ba. B, bei. P, pa. M, mo. D, di. T, tao. N, ni. L, li. Okay, moving on. So we'll start over here on the left again. G, as in good. Gu. G, as in skip. So it's the same thing that's going on with the B and the D sound, like in spot and stop. Here we have skip. G. Gay. So again, G. G. Okay, just practice the good and skip a few times and you can get those 2 sounds down. Again, don't worry if you don't get it right away. It takes a bit of practice and you have to get used to hearing it. K, keep. Ka. H, hat, regular English H sound. Ho, that means rain. And this one's a little bit different because in English it only comes at the end of words, like in the word sing, but in Taiwanese, can come at the beginning of a word. So I want you to say, sing a song, and then focus on this liaison right here. Sing a song, ng song, ng. Okay, so the ng can come at the front of the word. An example is nge. Okay, now here, these letters you'll see, they're the same as these letters over here, but we've got an I at the end. And they're very similar sounds, but they're slightly different. And all of these letters grouped together make a single sound, okay? All of these letters grouped together make a single sound. Now the first two, the J and the JI, they're not exact. The examples in English are not exactly the same sound, but it's kind of the closest that we have in English. So you can practice that, but don't worry too much about the J's, and I'm going to explain why in a few minutes. Okay, so the first one is Z, like zoo. Zwa, zwa. And Ji, as in pleasure. Ji, too. Okay, the next ones are a bit easier. So this is Z, as in beds, the end of the word beds. And again, in Taiwanese, we can put that at the front of the sound. So here we have zai, zai. This is ts, as in the end of the word fits, fits. And here's the word mouth, tsui. Okay, so zai, tsui. And then a regular S, like in English, si. Sa. Okay, and then doing the ones with the eyes. Again, they're almost the same, so z. And here we have a J as in juice, j, or ji in Taiwanese. Ji. Jiap. And that actually also means juice. This one is qi, as in the word cheese. Qi means mouse. Qi. Actually, it's niao qia, but the qi is the part that means mouse. And here we have xi, as in the English word sheep. And the word color in Taiwanese, xiek. Xiek. Okay, again, don't worry too much about the tone marks or the vowel sounds here. I'm going to cover that in the next lesson. Now, the reason I said don't worry too much about these two J's up here, the Z and Zh sound, is because in Taiwanese, most speakers don't actually use them. Most speakers will either use a G sound or a L sound, and I find the L sound is the most prominent one. So just stick with L. It's a lot easier to say. So for example, this would be Lua, and this would be Li, and that's a lot easier to say than Zwa and Ji. So we'll stick with L. I'm going to stick with L. That's usually how I say it. But if you hear J or Z or G, don't worry about it. You'll know what it means. They all mean the same letter here. It's a J. Okay, and we always write the J in the words because that's an easy way to distinguish them. So if I write the word too, I'll write J-I, but I'll pronounce it Li. Okay, so that's all of the initial consonants for Taiwanese. Hope you enjoyed this lesson. Subscribe to the channel and check back next time for the final sounds and vowel sounds and more Taiwanese learning. Thanks for watching.